Matt Baldwin is the face that I'd put on anything to sell.
He is internet royalty.
Man, he is the face that scares small children.
Oh man, that man's a king of Arkansas. That's Arkansas. Loving son. That's Arkansas's Prince.
Yeah, he loves Prince, man. He is all about some Purple Rain.
Hey, dude, don't knock Purple Rain.
I love Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Purple Rain.
No, we'll see. No, Megamus knows our good song that when we did a joke on karaoke. It's raining men.
Is that how you sang it?
Oh yeah, I was all over the place.
I'm glad everyone could hear that. I'm glad that'll make it to our viewers, listeners.
I don't give a shit, man, boy. I love that song. I'll be in the car by myself while I would dance up.
You picked
dancing a jig and everything. I love that song, man. I don't care if it's for gay people or not. Ain't that right, dog?
Mike.
That's like the #1 gay song right there. I mean, I love gay people.
I mean, it couldn't be for women too.
No, it's called Raining Men.
And a woman singing it.
That's drag queen singing it.
Oh, I don't know who sings it.
You sure do know a lot of facts about this, Mike.
We're towing a mighty fine line here.
Hey there. Be quiet, Dalton.
Now, how are you gonna, Mike? What do you do on the weekend? You know what? Never mind. Don't
no, ask me. I got nothing. You want to know what I do on the weekends? You know what I do? I'm spending $20 at a time bashing you know who.
Mike.
Ooh, there's an idea for Mike.
Mike lays up in a trailer. He's like, "Hey boys, want to see the missing toes?"
I'll let you tickle it for extra. Tickle my nub.
I keep them in a jar. Doctor said I wasn't supposed to take them, but I took them when he wasn't looking.
And he pickles them.
I got some pickle juice. I got floating in there.
Put some hot sauce on them. Good stuff. Welcome to Stasis Lock episode 186. I'm your host at The Real Pinkerton. Dalton, where can people find you?
Find me everywhere at Daltonians TFs or YouTube Daltonian95.
And we're joined by Brett. Brett, where can people find you?
Mega Toy Fan on Facebook.
And we are joined by the toe squirrel himself, Angry Mike. Where can people find you at?
You can find me at your local Walmart hiding toys underneath the shelves.
Kabar said you also start groups, but you know that may be grounds for a $10 charge, Kabar. But before we get on to that,
the funny part is he's part of the group.
He
loves it. He's out there just throwing shame everywhere.
He showed me. That's $20 from both of y'all.
I don't care. I'm so fucking proud of him.
Did you create that group? Did you create that group?
Yes, I did.
That's another $20, Mike.
It's okay. The reason it was created is that another group.
You don't have to. You don't. We don't. No dirty laundry on this show.
Oh, come on. Let me get my Chardonnay out there.
We got enough dirty toes. We don't need dirty laundry.
Hey now.
Hey, Candace, where can people find you at?
Is she following here?
Whoa.
Oh, jeez, Mike.
Well, where's she been? I was on a different screen. I didn't even know she was here. My bad. Be all right.
Hello, I'm here. I made it. Sorry, I was a little late. You can find me at Canned Ice or Candace Santora on social media. Look around.
Mighty enunciative today, are we? Is enunciative a word?
Only if you can spell it.
Enunciative.
I don't know. I've got customers making up words all the time, so sure, why not?
That's fair. That's them. Some Dalton. Is it the Rockies or the Smokies where you're at?
Definitely the Smokies.
Smoky Mountain.
I'm lost.
We like to.
Is it the Rockies or the Appalachians? No, Appalachians. That's where Brett's at, isn't it?
It's the Rockies, but I'm over in the plains.
That's some Rocky Mountain hillbillies making up their words.
That's down south.
The Appalachians?
I'm down on this plains.
Brett, where are the mountains? What's the mountain range for you?
The mountains for us is going to be down probably.
I know what do they call?
An hour and a half. Oh, I have no idea.
Are those the Appalachians? Welcome to
I thought it was.
Run all the way down.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I think they
maybe it is
Kentucky.
From like Maine to Florida or some crap like that. I don't know.
Oh,
No, I'm not a hillbilly, so.
mighty close to him, Brett.
Okay, I'm from Kentucky. I can say that.
Hillbilly, that's our word.
Someone's
All
mad.
right. I
Someone's
know.
real mad.
Damn, that dog's pissed.
Somebody wants some head pats.
That's
Got
Hey.
over your damn
That's my
nerves.
bacon.
Dalton, did you get anything this week?
I didn't get anything this week yet.
Ooh. Mike, what about you?
Give me a minute. Let me look around. I'm not gonna get cut off like I did last week.
Yeah, you forgot the things that you got, didn't you? That you were supposed to save to this week.
Well, I know. I do know. I've gotten some pre-production samples. It was Leo, Zach, Skyquake, and Positron from 09. Is what I missed last week. And then,
Okay.
what did I get this week? Hold on.
I'm gonna give you 10 seconds.
You got a bunch of purple boys, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I got some more of those. Those don't really count. Those are for,
Look,
Nah,
the
that's
buying
about
habits
it.
of Angry Mike don't reflect Stasis Lock, okay?
what, my scalping habits? Is that what you said?
I said your buying habits.
Oh, I thought you said my scalping habits. No,
What's it
I
called,
guess
what's
that
it
was,
called when you snitch on yourself?
I don't really care. Man, you know what? As soon as you move on to Candace, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I remember that. Nope, that's it next week."
Yep, you know that's right. All right, 10 seconds is up. Hey,
That's
Candace,
fine.
did you get anything this week?
I did not.
Oh, womp womp.
I
Brett, what
know.
about you?
Nope, didn't get anything.
Wow.
Dakota, what'd you get?
Hey, thank you for asking. I didn't get a thing this week.
I was the only one that got something from last week.
Yeah, there was nothing in my mailbox. But what we do have all collectively as a group are viewers. We got Kabar in the chat, Ghost Lord Peter, Brother Kyle, and Leonardo. Thank y'all for joining us. Kabar said he got the last Robot Master Primal he needed to complete his set.
Is it
Nice.
legitimate
Awesome.
or is it knockoff?
Well, they didn't KO the Robot Master stuff.
Well, apparently they didn't care.
I mean, there was that trans art, but it wasn't really. It was like a downsized. It was a weird amalgamation. The trans art was really weird.
I'm just giving
Brother
him a hard
Kyle
time.
said he got a rare Wednesday off. Now I can listen to my favorite Beast Wars podcast from the comfort of my own home.
How much you to say that?
It's $20.
Okay.
But we are still number 2, unfortunately. So we got to work on that. But Mr. Impact in the chat says, "What's up, everyone? Just ordered myself both a Masterpiece Megatron and Black Arachnia today. Hopefully it'll be in next week. That's very awesome. Those are mighty fine additions to anyone's shelf."
Megatron is arguably one of the best.
Yeah, he is. He's really, really good.
I think
Peter
Donald
says, "I've been
Buck-
waiting on Big Bad to get to my pre-orders in for like 3 months now.
Oof.
Yeah, given the current affairs of the world, that's probably
If it ain't essential, don't worry about it no
To be
more.
expected.
gonna take a hot minute. Yeah, everything's slowed down." Brother Kyle said, "My favorite is number 2." Me too, Brother Kyle. That's my favorite. That's my favorite as well.
Especially after Whataburger or White Castle.
Just specifically, the latter more so than the former. The former really clogs me up. The latter really loosens the gears, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
But do we really need another stasis lock where we're talking about bowel movements?
Why not?
Possibly. It's a possibility.
But you do know what White Castles is known for, right?
Rats?
Smells the same going as it going.
That's what. See, that's the good thing. If I had eaten White Castle and then run the cycle right before I ate it again, then I'd probably be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll pass on this. But fortunately, that doesn't really happen. I know me and Mike are going to be stopping a whole lot between Arkansas and Kentucky, and most of it's going to be bathroom breaks.
I was gonna say bathroom. That's what it's gonna be.
That, or I'll just bring a pail bucket and we'll just trade out. Like, Mike, grab the steering wheel. I got to borrow the bucket.
No, dude, just pull over, man. You ever heard of shit in the woods?
Mike, bathroom.
That's my
bathroom.
That's my poop bucket.
Look, I'm not gonna shit in the woods in Tennessee or in Kentucky. That's
Have
how
you not
people go
tried?
missing. I'm not gonna.
You know what? I'll be willing to do a live video shitting in the woods.
I know these good Louisiana woods. I don't know outside state. You know, like I said, that's how you go missing. And I
Well,
really
in
don't wanna
Louisiana,
part
of all
of
the alligators, of course you go missing shitting in the woods.
that. Well, no, see, that's because I know where the alligators are. You know, I don't know where the heroin addicts are up there in Tennessee.
Meth.
You know the perfect place
It's
to go
meth
shit in Kentucky is over at Brett's house. You know, since we can't go in the house, we just shit in the front yard.
Just do it in the yard.
Do it in the yard.
I told
Next
you
to our,
before, that's how
next to our
I can
tent.
walk into my yard.
Yeah, there's an amendment that's going to be practiced. I'm pretty sure if we end up doing that, Mike, and it's not going to be the first one about the free speech. It's going to be pretty close to it, though.
Okay.
All right. Well, we got us a beast banging tonight, and which one is it? Come on, PowerPoint. Boom! It's Iguanus. So, Iguanus was part of the premiere wave of Beast Wars figures to release. Was that late 95 when they came out, early 96, whatever. Don't matter. So there's a rock bubble and a smooth bubble. There is no Japanese Iguanus. So count your blessings there if you are a variant mitten box collector. I know, kitty cat. I know. What I like here is similar to, this is a remold of the Alligator Megatron, and basically this new beast head and this fin piece. Everybody watched Jurassic Park, so y'all know what that is. But I like how they actually painted like his whole tongue, and it wasn't just like a little boop like on the Megatron. So there's that. Blue eyes, which are very believable. And he's got an awesome spot pattern all over him. But he also has a different robot head, because it'd be weird if he had Megatron's head, right? Hey, what's up with that? For the longest time, I thought these little beast mode feats were different, but they're not. They're the same. Everything else is pretty near the same.
So this is one of those yellow spotted lizards from Höls, huh?
And if you look at, fun stuff will happen.
Hey ho.
Iguanus is one of my favorites. I liked him.
I like his robot head. Like, I don't know what it is about it. Like, he screams like, I'm a bad guy henchman. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if he was in the show, maybe he would have been a real problem.
It's once
Bit
again
of a loose cannon.
Megatron had it though. I just wish there was more paint apps on the legs. The lower part just looks unfinished.
Bland. Yeah, because Megatron had the gold, which I got some
gold
comparisons.
stripes. Yeah.
Similar to Megatron, the tail comes off, forms the same weapon. Yada yada yada. Here they are compared in beast mode. In case you forgot what an alligator looks like, there you go. So that way you believe me. And it looks like he's got two different tones of like spots. So he's got dark yellow back here, and it kind of dark yellow and a more pale yellow, and then the more pale yellow only on the head.
It reminds me of like the Gila or Gila monster. Just really venomous lizards.
Yeah, it could have been what they were going for. But this, I think, also explains why he probably doesn't have any paint apps really in robot mode. As you can see, the bronze here on Megatron, even on his toes and the shins and the knees right there.
Think they spent all the paint apps on the back?
I think they did, like on the deck. I mean, Megatron does have this like kind of dry brush effect here.
Yeah, it's just one wash though. Yeah.
Yeah, where his is definitely a full deco from head to tail. So, but Megatron also doesn't have painted hands, so I mean, there's trade-offs all around, I guess. And Megatron only has like the back part of his tongue painted, so yeah, what are you gonna do? I am gonna go out on a limb here and say that Iguanus was the first planned use of this mold, because as you can see, Megatron has a little molded piece here that the screw would go in to hold the Jurassic Park accessory on the backpack. I mean, it's even got like the little cutout here too. So if I was a betting man, I would bet Iguanus came first, Megatron came second. Yeah, but you know, I really don't know.
I would like to see something of him for Generations.
I think it would be neat. He's another little flip former. I just man, like Beast Wars did such a great job with all those flip formers. But this would have been a real cool one. There's a reason I have this one. I've been kind of like doing a rhyme and a reason to these Beast Bangins, and I've been going in Japanese identification order number, but because there was like almost an entire line of American releases, I've just been trying to think like, okay, well, what would be like pit up against others. So I kind of went with like Razor Beast was repainted as Randy, and Iguanus was repainted as Crazy Bolt, and they were put together in a versus pack. So I was like, well, I guess if they were released in Japan, they probably would have done the same thing with those two, with Iguanus and Razor Beast. But anyways, that's Iguanus. I like him. I think he's pretty cool. I didn't get this one till way later on, so it's not like I have any childhood connections with him, but it is what it is. Brett, why do you want it so much?
I don't know. I just like the looks of it. I like the color. I think I definitely like it better than the Megatron. And I like the flip formers too. I thought they were pretty neat. So, and I love the fact that one of the things I liked about Beast Wars was having all the weapons, weapon storage.
Yes.
Even though this is just the big tail, still, it was neat design.
All right, and the cool thing was you typically would get it in both beast mode and robot mode. I can't think of any of the basics that don't have weapon storage for both modes. Of course, I'm not thinking very hard, but
Not that I could think of.
Yeah.
Because even
anybody? Oh, what's up?
Even Razor Beast, the main would fit on the back in robot mode too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it had the little notch where the tail could slide up into it.
Yeah, so
you'd fully transform. Yeah.
You can have it even flipped out as a little shoulder cannon.
Yeah, for the back.
Mm-hmm.
So, anybody else have any fond memories of Iguanus before we move on? I will say that his Transmetal 2 form I liked a lot more, but I'm very impartial to Transmetal 2s.
I don't think I have this Iguanus. I had the Transmetal 2 because he looks so badass. But I never had this one.
Why not?
That's what I'm
I just
Because it wasn't on the show. I was young and I was like, I only want the characters that were on the show.
I did too.
That's how I was.
Single-minded person.
I ended up.
I only had so much allowance, Mike.
Oh, Hasbro, you can keep your $6.99.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
Not all
Go
of us.
some more yards.
Mike, not all of us were 22 when Beast Wars
Yeah.
came out. All right.
How old was I? What year was that?
No, for crying out loud.
96. I was still in high school.
What age? Like what grade?
96. I was a junior.
Oh, okay. So you were like making money in high school.
Well, I wasn't selling toys.
different interests, huh?
A lot of different interests. Let me tell you what, toys phased out in junior high. So
oh, okay.
let me tell you where that went after that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all got a pretty good idea. Ding dongs and ho hos, right? So, speaking of ding dongs and ho hos, you can follow us on our social media accounts at Instagram.com/StasisLockPodcast, Facebook.com/BeastWars, Twitter.com/StasisLockCast. You can always email us at StasisLockPodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to join our now 1,000 member strong Facebook group, the Beast Wars Society. Yeah. That was awesome. I think it really did. For such a short amount of time to have so many people in there, it's really awesome. From all different locations, walks of life, etc. So it's really cool to see a lot of people come together over some Beast Wars. But it is a buy, sell, trade, and discussion group, and from time to time, there's some pretty good deals to be had in there. I think I got a Battle Unicorn from, I think it was Mike B. I don't know. I don't think it was Mike Q. I'm pretty sure it was Mike B. Yeah.
It was big. I got some for him too.
Yeah, there were Mike's in that group. But got that. I think it was like $15, and then a Tripredicus agent was like 20 or 25.
Wow.
So, yeah, very, very good deals to be had. All right, let's get into the news. Anyone who can see the little numbers at the bottom sees we're at slide 11 of 12.
Oh no!
The Ultra Gear Stasis Lock Photo Op. Bring a masterpiece cheat order to Pete's Robocon, July 24th through 25th, 2020 in Louisville, Kentucky for an epic galloping gyroscopic gathering of the most open cheat orders in one location.
Why'd you do it so slow?
Well, because we don't have any freaking news, Mike.
It's gonna be a 40-minute show.
Just about.
I'm just kind of curious. Usually he just slings right on through that.
Need to pad out the time somehow.
I'm trying to make someone's Thursday commute from the bedroom to the bathroom well worth their listen. So, Kabar says you guys should talk general Transformers news. Yeah, Tyler isn't here, so he wouldn't be sighing a whole bunch, talking about all them G1s.
Even then, there's not much news.
Yeah.
Ain't got nothing either.
Brother
There's
Kyle
a new
says, I still bought toys in junior high and high school, but I did it on the low. I already wasn't cool and I didn't want to add to it.
Who's that? Brother Kyle?
Yeah, Brother Kyle. Brother Kyle, you always cool, man.
Yeah, man.
I think I kept buying, like, it shifted from, like, Transformers because, I mean, Armada and Energon and Cybertron just wasn't for me, onto, like, anime stuff. Yeah, but, I mean, it was still generally robot-themed. Like, anime and video game stuff is what I, like, kind of bought until I got back into my 20s, like I'd already been there before. Till I got into my 20s, and I was like, oh, Transformers. So... yeah, Kabar, he brought up the Forge to Fight Dinobot concept art. I'll be honest, dude, I thought that was already in a game. I thought that was already the Dinobot in the game. Yeah. So, and I mean, does anybody show of hands or email the email who all cares about Forge to Fight? If you do, by all means, I'll start adding that to my stuff to look for. But until then, I think it's kind of moot, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's a little
Brett,
games for casual.
You play mobile games when you have some free time, or you just hit up the old solitaire?
I guess solitaire.
I don't have
think games. No, I got free time. I just don't play games.
Oh, what do you do to pass that free time? That's going to be an impromptu topic. What do you do to pass downtime?
Downtime when?
Anytime. Does it matter?
Well, if we're talking about work, then I'm not going to talk about that because that might be used against me. So.
Right. Yeah. So I wasn't gonna. Yeah.
It's already being
used. There's no downtime. There's no downtime at work. Well, I guess like personal time. What do you do in your personal downtime?
Go out. Go. Running. The gym, stuff like that.
There's a lot of healthy shit.
Exercise.
And then we're home, watch movies.
Yeah.
I've got to binge watch a lot of stuff with this Corona.
Yeah.
I heard it's a tasty beer.
That's I hear you drink them with lime. That said, not a fan myself. I can see through it. So, yeah.
Ugh.
Fuck it. And it looks like pee. So.
Not as bad as that Miller Lite stuff.
It definitely looks the same coming out. Or should I say it looks the same going in as it did coming out instead of the other way around?
Could you imagine if you drank that stuff and then had White Castles?
Oh, God.
Now, I think White Castles... I think White Castles would be good with a nice, firm stout. Something dark and heavy with a lot of flavor. You don't think so? Well, you gotta
in that stuff they call beer.
That water.
My beer.
It's talking about that water you drink.
It's
you
water.
Call beer.
Water.
It's water. It's
I'll
water.
get down to the Ohio River and get you some of that stuff.
Mike's like, actually, Mike says it's a hard seltzer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Drinking that White Claw, huh?
I think I'd take a hard seltzer or whatever it is instead of that.
Sparkling water.
Mike says, I want a gin and soda.
Hold the gin.
Just put it in a Coors bottle, please. They taste the same.
There you go.
So.
Leave my coolers low.
Dalton, what about you, man? What do you do for downtime?
Mostly Xbox.
Okay. Can your work use your downtime against you?
Huh?
Can your work use your downtime against you?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to. Mike, what about you, man? What do you do? What do you do for downtime?
What do I not do?
Oh, well, that's a lot.
You're right.
That is true. I do not.
Just saying.
I was waiting.
Calling me out being fat. Is what you're trying to say?
I was waiting
I got
for
all my
Sarah
clothes.
to just come marching into the room like, he don't do this, and he don't do this, and he don't do that, and he don't do that.
Very quiet.
Oh, she's taking a
That's
nap,
what I
huh?
need to do. Kabar's right. I need to learn to play the guitar. Get some downtime. That's a good idea.
I've been watching a lot of, or trying to find stuff to watch on TV. Find something binge watch it. But right now I've been kind of like organizing stuff for my show in a couple weeks. I have some stuff to sell, but that's about it.
Wow, way to bring your show into it.
At least I didn't name my show. Unlike the guy here making $20 each time he runs the thing on the show.
He made me. Mike did pay me $10 to mention the show because he did not want to pay the $20 to name the show by name. So we gotta work within our contractual parameters. Yeah. So, Candace, what about you? What do you do for downtime?
I can see her being a heavy drinker. Just getting sloshed.
Is that so?
Got to stay warm up there in Pennsylvania, right?
So you do like a nice Merlot?
Red wine.
No, I would think like a rosé. I bet she's a rosé.
I don't know what any of these things are.
I don't either.
It's girly wine.
I don't drink anything.
I used to be a bar manager, so.
Oh.
What did you say?
I used to be a bar manager.
Oh.
And I had to order all that stuff.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just joking.
I wasn't.
He was just humoring himself. So, well, I think everybody knows I draw. I also am getting into the toy photography stuff at the MPB stores. I'm having fun with that.
You have much better nature surroundings than I do. I got a tree and some grass. I got like rock formations and.
I got boulders all over the place.
Yeah.
Squirrels running around. There's a pond out back. There's
Bunch of night gliders, huh?
creek nearby. Yeah, that's it for the most part. There's not much else to. I like to watch TV, movies, and stuff as well. I'm very much an introvert, so I don't want to be around people.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I can raise my glass of solitude to that as well.
Down, watches the movie, pounds back a fifth of Jack.
There he goes again.
I got so much. I got so much stuff to do on Destiny 2 that I just don't want to go out. Hey, you want to do something this weekend? Nope. Got to grind strikes.
What else do you do, Dakota?
Well, I drink moderately, if you want to believe that.
Constantly, I believe that.
Man, other than that, it's I got my iron in a couple of different fires, so to speak. So I stay a little more busy than I'd like to be. But at work, I'll find like a series to binge watch, and then I'll download a couple episodes and watch. I got a lot of downtime with my job whenever I go back to it. Now, whenever we do open back up, that may be a different story. But before old Pat's Blue Ribbon came in,
they say when you're going to open up.
We're looking at phase 2. Some of the other spots, like after phase 1 was announced, the governor was like, "Hey, we're gonna change that 25% to 50%." So
see, our phase 2's June 1st. So right around the corner.
Ours is a week after yours.
Okay.
Well,
Ours
we
is the
made
7th.
we made the news, so we ain't going to phase 2 anytime soon. Bunch of idiots out in the lake all tied their boats together. Hey, we're partying.
Yeah.
And then the news here locally blurs out their faces. What for? We want to know who these morons are. Idiots.
But I mean, if like, it doesn't matter. Probably best not to get into it. Get the video pulled down.
Again.
Yep. So, all right, into some actual Transformers related topic. Let's see. We're going to kind of revisit something we have talked about before, but just to refresh everyone who may be listening and or watching, do you sell figures from your collection to fund new figures? Dalton.
Sometimes I do. I think I did that last year, and I'm thinking about doing it again this year. Just getting rid of some stuff that just doesn't fit anymore.
It's more of like
Fair
you
enough.
trade than you sell.
Well, I mean,
No,
still-
because I'm not giving them a figure for the figure.
is there anything wrong with that? Do you just not feel comfortable doing it?
No, I'm just saying that's not what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Mike, what about you, man?
Yes, I do. I will
All right, yeah,
buy new stuff. When you're in
Ark-
America
Arkansas's,
like I am, you gotta trade a little and sell a little to get a little.
Arkansas's a black market Funko Pops dealer.
Yeah.
Angry Mike.
Hey, I'll tell you
Candace, what
man,
about
I'm gonna
you?
have some good props to sell.
I sell nothing. Next.
Oh, there we go. Brett, what about you? You sell figures to fund new figures?
No.
So when you commit to selling, like that's pretty much going into something else, or
Something better comes along. I don't like it anymore. I made a bad choice. I want to downsize the collection. All those things are, space. But I can't think of a time that I sold something specifically to use that money to buy another toy.
okay. All right. Next question is: what are some of the best flips that you've made along the way, Dalton?
I don't think I've had any good flips.
Oh man, wait till he gets to me.
That
Yeah,
happens.
I haven't sold really anything, that I got that was expensive and got any profit off of it. So,
All right, Mike. What about you, man?
2016 Megatron. I funded a whole trip flipping them bastards. And then a couple
Yeah,
years
imagine the-
prior to that, the great Grimlock scandal worked out really well for me.
I remember that.
oh my
The
god.
Grimlock scandal.
It was.
Remember that?
I
Grim-
remember.
Grimgate.
It has its own Wikipedia entry.
What was that?
14.
14.
Trust me, I remember vividly.
Grimgate 14. There you go.
Oh man.
The
People-
That was some
glares
funny
you probably get.
People were so butthurt
That's
because they didn't.
because of the picture.
It was just a
You
picture alone.
posted a picture. That's it.
That's it. And then I got in trouble for disrupting the community,
Yes, you did.
just
You
like
got
earlier
called out
today.
everywhere.
Well-
Like earlier today, I got 7 notifications. Your post has been taken down. Don't call him a thief. Stop it.
If I had a nickel for every time I disrupted the community as well.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I would go out. I would look up every single alternate word for the name thief, and I would be posting just every different word, just to see if they would get you.
They probably would. I'm on
Just
their
get some
radar
folks
now.
to start googling. Like,
Like,
Just synonyms
we
or-
talk with them big
I just
words.
see synonyms for I don't care how big or small for thief, and I'm going to use it.
But yeah,
I got my
no,
phone on me.
the Megatron in 06
Tracer.
was like the biggest flip I think I ever got.
Which one? The Megatron?
The Megatrons, because I ended up, when it was all said and done, I think I ended up buying almost like 8 or 9 of them.
Jeez.
when it was all said and done. Matter of fact, I take pride in knowing that my proxy that bought them for me was the one that broke the bank and pissed you know who off. They go, son of a bitch, ain't nothing else left.
All right, Mike. Here's some synonyms. A few of these I really like. Call them a pilferer.
Pilfer. Yep.
A pilferer. A poacher. A swindler.
Swindle.
A raider, looter, plunderer, marauder,
Charlatan.
brigand. Ooh, call him a pirate. So you
toy
man.
pirate.
You hold upper. You crook.
Hold upper.
Hold upper.
You steamer.
That has a lot of possibilities.
It's basically called him a piece of shit too.
You
hey, now we don't call people that, dog. What's wrong
you
with you?
Stop.
You housebreaker. You larcenist. You embezzler. You villain.
Oh, I would have used that one. That's it right there. You villain. They were like, "What the hell is she talking about?" You villain.
You bandit.
Slob.
All Mike will say is Google it.
Yeah, Google it.
Hang on, I gotta get Google to say this word for me.
Dacoit.
Hang on.
Dacoit.
You dacoit. A member of a band of armed robbers.
That's really close
you're
to
not in
Dakota.
You're not in India or Burma. Neither am I. So, you pick purse. You footpad.
Pick purse. Pick purse. Oh.
You peculator. Please tell me that's how it's pronounced. Oh, there's not a pronunciation thing for it. You lurcher. You footpad. You tea leaf. You second story man / worker.
What?
Okay.
Oh my!
I like that one.
Man, Google's awesome. Just start looking up synonyms for simple words and
Let the fun begin.
Pretty much. So Candace, you don't sell any. Is there any other kind of like hobbies where you have like maybe sold something?
Her artwork.
I was gonna say
Well,
a little bit of my
mean-
art, not much. No, I really can't think of a single thing I've sold to someone.
Not even like a used car or.
Oh, okay, yeah, the car.
Oh, okay.
When you get to like the adulting stuff.
How'd you swindle? How'd you swindle them?
Ooh.
I am no villain.
Daggone footpad.
You tea leaf.
I'm so offended.
This is what you call a rolling gag. Yeah.
Why would you pick purse somebody like that?
I think it's kind of funny how you would mention talk about her adulting. It's like when I sold my parents' house. The guy came, of course, the first six guy come to look at it. He never once got on the roof to check it. And then like a couple years later, I ran into him. Hey, man, I didn't realize that roof needed to be replaced. Yep, I guess you should have got up there and found out for yourself.
Mike, you pillager.
Villain.
That's okay. I don't care.
You villain.
Plunderer.
I wanted that house gone.
Villain Mike. Doesn't have the same ring as Angry Mike.
Nothing has the same as Angry Mike.
Tea leaf, Mike.
Tea leaf.
How about Teabag Dalton?
I can teabag you right now.
Ugh, no.
Dalton is that sounds delicious. I'll take one of those. Well versed in the Brett, what about you, man? What are some of the best flips you've made along the way?
I don't know. I was sitting here trying to think of it myself.
Now, to be fair, like all of us, like we know that you are a toy dealer, and to be fair, not just because you're my friend, you do have probably the best prices convention round.
How much did he pay you to say that shit?
Wasn't cheap.
Brett, no, that one's just on the cheek, so to speak. That's
Oh, on the cheek.
but it's true. I mean, it is. Like I do a lot of buying when I go to shows, and you know, Brett's usually my first stop. Hey, you got this? Yep. All right. I need to go nowhere else. I know he's already done his homework.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man. I don't know. I can't say. I don't know.
Fair enough.
I mean, back when I was buying collections. Oh, okay. So, gosh, it's been, I don't know how long ago. Anyway, there was a guy had put on Craigslist. He just showed the box of a Fort Max, and it was $50. And it was pretty far away. And I'll never forget this because I was in Florida on vacation. And so I actually called Jamie, and I said, hey, man, I kind of contacted this guy. Is there any way you can go meet him this weekend? And he also said he had some more stuff. He's like, okay. So Jamie goes down there, calls me. He goes, you ain't going to believe this. I was like, oh, man, did he sell the Fort Max? Did he sell it? I mean, you went all the way down there? He goes, no. I got it. It's in the car. But there's a lot more stuff. And I'm like, all right, send me pictures. Well, he sent me pictures of basically a garage. Just full. And right in front was a boxed USS Flag, a boxed Defiant.
Wow.
Oh.
And it gets better. A boxed Eternia.
Oh.
And just gobs and gobs of figures and just tons of stuff. And
that's not a collection. That's a jackpot.
Well, it was really one of our once in a lifetime, and it was all from one picture. And so make a long story short, we just got so much out of that, and we would ask him, what do you want for it? And he would just like, give me $50 for that box. Give me $20 for this. So I mean, we got it for a really good deal. Jamie we paid the guy up front. Told him we'd be back next weekend to pick the rest of it up. Jamie filled up his SUV. I went back there with my truck, and I had to make 2 more trips.
Wow.
And it was about an hour, almost 2 hours away. So I mean, it sucked, but it was worth it. It took us a long time to sell everything, but that was probably one of our biggest deals.
And so was there a Fort Max in the box?
Yeah, it was complete.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
and this was prior to like the reissue and stuff like that.
Yeah, this was probably 2009.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so
that was when the brand was like peak. People were just buying anything and everything vintage.
I mean, but literally, I told Jamie, I said, just buy all the toys. We wound up with like a bunch of. There were some Barbies. There was some Hot Wheels. I mean, there was truly junk there, but there was a lot of good stuff. Whole lot. That is the first time and the only time I've ever seen a complete unbroken Eternia playset, which is He-Man, by the way, in case you don't know. It's extremely hard to get piece. Everything, it had a rail system that you take a little cart and it could go around the rails. That was so flimsy it would shatter, and it was unbroken. And the Defiant was unbroken. Even the blue blast doors were unbroken. So that was probably our biggest one. They just don't come around anymore.
Yeah, no, because you got everybody in the game now, especially with that being what, over 10 years ago.
Yeah, but especially in our area, there's so many people out there toy hunting. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. I guess I forgot to answer the first question. Do I sell figures to fund new figures? Absolutely. There are things that I do buy to enjoy. But if something else comes along that I know I'm going to enjoy more, well, that's the reason I got them. You know, sometimes you take the gamble, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it don't. As far as what was the best flip that I've had, something, and I'm going to narrow the parameters to something that I bought with the intent to keep, instead of, you know, buying because I used to do that with figure arts all the time. Like I would just buy the Dragon Ball Z SH figure arts, and just because I knew, like, if I just sat on them for 6 months, that I would be doubling or sometimes tripling whatever my profit margin could be. But as far as stuff I've bought to keep, like best flip, probably back in 2015, I thought, you know what, I don't need this BlockCon 2006 set. I did not have very much in it. I think the whole thing probably ran me, I don't know, somewhere close to like 13 or 1400 to acquire. And so I sold it to fund my BotCon 2015 trip, which in turn meant that I got all the BotCon 2015 toys, and I got the memories, the experience, and all that. And that turned out to be one of my favorite sets too. I know it isn't super hot as far as secondary market value goes, but it ended up being well worth it. And a year later, I ended up getting everything from 2006 back for about what I had flipped it for. So it kind of washed. Like, essentially, I guess it was just me moving money around.
I like spending your money.
I think that might be. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Wait till Robocon. Just give me a list. I'll go shopping.
All right. I hope you can find what's on my list, Mike.
I might.
Because, we'll find out in July. We'll find out in July.
No. What's on your list for Robocon? Tell me now.
Find out in July. I don't want you spending it now. I want you spending it in July.
You don't want me to buy it from under him either.
That's true.
Well, I wouldn't go behind Dakota.
That's true.
When I find the good shit, I go straight to Dakota.
I don't need Pick Purse Dalton getting it out from under me. All right. So alternatively, what's the biggest loss you can recall, Dalton?
TFC Hercules.
Yeah, that was one for me too. Mike, what about you, man?
Only made back $150 from it.
Jeez, are you serious?
Yeah, dude. Mine wasn't much better. I sold the set, and this was way before Combiner Wars was even a thing. But I paid whatever it was, $550, $600 for the set, and then I was only able to get like $200 from it.
Wow! And I when he mentioned that, it dawned into my head. I can't think of anything I've lost money on, but that usually it's been third party stuff I've lost money on.
Oh, that's why you hate it. That's your ulterior motive.
Hercules was one of them, because I did have Hercules. I think I got mine. I got out of the game really fast on that one, and I think I maybe made back like $300 of my money on it. And then I think I did okay on the ones that came with the Dino Riders.
The Fans Project?
Right, because I sold the Dino Riders by themselves for like $100 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
But then, maybe took like $40, $50 on the figure alone. So I did okay. Hercules, I would honestly say Hercules was like a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, man, we got Summit Balt 08 in the chat. What's up, dude? He says, I play Forged to Fight every day. Beast Wars Crew is #1 in that game. All right. Guess we'll have to start leaning into that in our news segment. I don't follow it too heavily, so I wasn't aware. But thanks for stopping by, dude.
Speaking of news, did you see the Facebook chat?
I have not. Irons in the fire and all that. So, Mike, you would is that what you would probably say was your? Well, what was your biggest loss, Mike?
I honestly think it was Hercules because he had brought it up. I didn't think nothing about it. In all honesty, the stuff I've sold before in the past, I don't think I've ever really took a major loss or a loss on any of it. Either I got back what I had in it, or I made what it was, way more than it was worth. there's been a couple of toys that I've let go that I'm like, man, what the hell was I thinking? Now looking at it again, take for example a Transformer Prime Breakdown. Dude, you can't find that thing cheaper than $300.
Hey, I got super lucky about a year and a half ago. Found it for it was auction. I paid like a little over $100 for it.
Man, let me tell you, I've been watching some Prime stuff here lately, like Dreadwing and Skyquake, and some of these are just they're going okay loose, but people are in the box ones are anywhere from like $150 to $200.
That's
like,
crazy.
I'm not
Skyquake was hard to find though.
Right, but I mean, I'm not going to pay that kind of money knowing that I'm going to open the damn thing.
Yeah.
I'd rather just bide my time and try to find a loose one.
That's fair too. Candace, I'm going to present with you a hypothetical. If you were to sell anything, what do you think you would take the biggest loss on? Like something you sunk something significant into. If you were to. Oh, really?
I do.
What was that, Mike?
You know?
I have a good idea what it would be. Go ahead and give your answer. I want to see whether it's a good answer.
I don't know.
I have a damn good idea what it is.
Really? Because I don't have a single idea.
I think I might be on the same page as you, Mike.
What? What do you guys think? I don't know.
I don't know either.
One of my statues? Is that what we're going with here?
Yep.
See, that wouldn't be a loss. Like, if anything, they've gone up since she got them.
Oh my god!
Right,
but
finding someone willing to pay that kind of money,
you'd be
you
surprised.
get a lot of lowballers.
You'd be
well,
surprised.
obviously, look at Candace. She's big
I
balling
had
over
some
there.
great deals on both of them, so I don't. It would just be too much to try and ship the damn things. They're just way too big and way too heavy. I wouldn't even put myself through the trouble.
Yeah, I hear that.
The shipping drives up the cost of everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Mike, you underestimate that statues game, dude. Which surprises me, somebody that wheels and deals pops.
Well, it's not just that. Take, for example, Rhinox from Hard Hero. I mean,
That thing's worth some money now, dog.
Yeah, you know what? That's why I took a lot. You know how much I sold mine for?
Is it?
$20.
Yeah, it is.
$20.
That's because you jumped before the market was ready.
You're right. That was years ago, though.
Oh,
That's
shit.
a you problem.
Got paid like $75 or $80 for mine or something like that.
I probably paid $40 for it.
Now I think aren't they fetching over $100 now? Like 120 or something like that?
Oh, really?
I'll just wait for the MP.
That's why it's going for so much, because people want to get it for their masterpiece collector.
TM2DB said that they bought a Hard Hero Rhinox for $20 as well.
Hey, was that mine you bought me?
He says maybe it was yours. That's funny.
I was also going to add some loss I've had is with my artwork, believe it or not. Printing all the prints, it gets expensive, and I do not sell many at all. So I'm actually going to be a lot more frugal about that from now on.
We're going to help you out with that.
Oh, it's okay. I keep hearing that from a lot of people, but it doesn't happen, so it's okay, Mike. I'm sorry to speak from experience.
Mike, you thought you were special. You're not.
No, we're going to put some on and make him go over there.
Summit Bolt 08 asked, didn't bring up Transtech Silverbolt. I opted to leave it out because it's not particularly news. But for anyone that's wondering, the original, slideshow boards for Transtech Silverbolt has hit eBay recently for $1,000, which is about $700 or $800 too high. So anyone who may be interested in something else equally awesome, in my opinion, was the original piece of art from the BotCon 2000 comic that was underneath one of the pros sections. That also hit from the same seller. Again, $1,500, so about $1,200 more than I think it's worth, personally. Now, that's just me. You spend your money on whatever you want to. But yeah. So, So you would say your biggest is probably just in the printing aspect, Candace?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, out of curiosity, like where do you go to have your art print?
Oh God, that's another thing. I've used Staples, I've used Walmart. I don't really have I don't even have an Office Depot around here, so it's
Oh
kind
my
of
God! I was
slim
gonna
pickings.
say Office
Yeah,
Depot.
I have to.
Don't use them. What do you mean don't use
Oh,
them?
don't you? Okay. I
No,
hope
like
No,
I'm
go to
saying,
the UPS store.
I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying use Office Depot. Like
Nope.
it's super cheap. I got those gag gifts, like the prints of I think it's before you joined, Mike, but it was like all of us in the Beast Wars cast with our faces photoshopped on various characters, like 50 cents per 11 by 17. It was like super cheap.
Wow.
But that was
Yeah.
paper, though, wasn't it?
No, it was the high gloss.
So it might just be what
Wow.
store or what area you're in, because I left using Office Depot to go use UPS store for everything I do, and it's way, 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 way cheaper.
Yeah, and again, these were 11 by 17s. Now, the ones that are like actual paper, which I did mess up and do with the Stasis Lock logo a few years ago, I guess I wasn't paying attention, but it was just like regular paper. Those were like, I think 25 cents a sheet. It was like, but I mean, it was still stupid cheap, and I mean, they were being given away, so like,
Oh,
whatever.
we're gonna talk about that.
But yeah, like I definitely, I at least would recommend looking into it, especially since yours are all like 8 by 10s, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the most part, yeah. It can be so frustrating. I've run into so many problems, and this just comes down to it being so stressed out before conventions and stuff. Is just not worth it to me sometimes. I don't know why I bother. I've had so many problems sometimes. Drives me insane. Like if you send them online to pick it up at the store, oh, they printed it out in the wrong size. Well, shit. Now I still have to pay for that. That they might give me a little bit of a refund, but I still have to pay most of it. Like, that's bullshit. You printed it wrong.
Who?
That really pissed me off.
Yeah, who did that?
That was Walmart.
Go ahead and shame them. Oh, okay.
That was Walmart, you bastards.
So they printed it off wrong and charged you for it because they screwed up.
You charge through the site or whatever it is, and they can't technically get all the money back to you or onto your credit card or whatever. I wanted to pay cash, but I didn't have the option. It wasn't showing up on the website. And the lady's like, "You can pay for it more." No, the option wasn't there on the website when I went to do this. So,
see, Office Depot.
I'm so angry.
You can walk in with a thumb drive, because that's exactly what I did. I walked in with a thumb drive, and I told them what file I wanted printed, and they were like, "All right, what size do you want?" And I was like, 11 by 17. If it's not quite 11 by 17 in size, like they even have Photoshop. They'll take it, put it into Photoshop, and put it to where it'll print out at least on an even more decent. Because like I had those Dirk Dinobots printed out, and that's not an 11 by 17 picture. Like it's kind of shrunk, so like they were able to print it to fit, size to fit, and all that.
And they stretched them out.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, like it wasn't. I mean, obviously, it's a low res image anyway, so there's some, like you can see it, but that's where you get into dot per inch, pixel per inch, et cetera, et cetera. But I like I said, man, I definitely recommend Office Depot. Like they've, just the few times I have dealt with them, the Stasis Lock little business cards went through them too, and like there were even some where they came out, or either the cutter messed it up, or they came out printed on the sheet a little too messed up. And she was like, "Don't worry, I'll sub these out and get, replenish whatever." So dealing with them in person is way, way better. And like I said, you can take that thumb drive in and be like, "This is the file that I want to print."
I've done that a couple times too, but sometimes I think I save them wrong sometimes by accident. But I'll get there with the flash drive, and then the file won't show up on the damn kiosk. I'm like, this is bullshit. I'd have to drive home and resave it and go back to the store and try it again. I did that once, and when it was flooding outside, and I shouldn't have done that, but I have a Jeep, so I was okay. It was seriously flooding bad, and I had to get it done though before the show. Guys, I can't tell you how frustrating it is.
TM2DB says try Print Ninja.
Print Ninja. Oh, I've also used oh, what the heck is it? No, it's escaped my mind. That real popular one. You do those cards and stuff. Vistaprint.
Vistaprint.
Yeah.
See,
I
I
skipped
skipped.
that one's been okay.
I skipped them to do Office Depot just because like I didn't want to wait and
Okay.
I'm impatient. Yeah.
I think the closest Office Depot to me is like a half an hour away, and I don't want to drive that far all the time. I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
And like I said, it's worth it. Like especially if you're just kind of out and about or whatever, and you're kind of near. If anything, just keep a flash drive on you and just go in and be like, hey, and they'll run off however many. Like there's no minimum, there's no minimum. Like you're not forced to run off 25 copies. So if you only wanted to run off 5 copies, 10 copies, 7 copies, whatever, you would be able to do that. So
nice.
Yeah. Like I said, an Office Depot.
Enough of my ranting. Sorry.
they didn't pay me a dime to promote them.
Nice.
So yeah. Brett, what about you, man? What's the biggest loss you can recall?
So I was thinking, I think they were pretty close together. So I'm gonna lump them all 3, just because this is the main reason I don't do third party anymore. Was definitely Hercules and the first Motormaster, the Minosaur one they did.
Oh, Fans Project, yeah.
Oh god, Diesel.
and the Abominus one they did. And I know I didn't get half my money on any of them. So I lost quite a bit. And that was back when they would come out with the figure, I'd buy it, pre-order, boom, boom. And I was hitting those up, and it took me 3 tries, 3 different ones to learn. I just don't mess with them anymore. So I just don't. That's very few third-party items, and definitely not combiners.
I'm surprised the Abominus one sold so badly, because that was probably one of the better third-party combiners.
I lost so much money on those, and at the end, I just wanted them gone.
Yeah,
and that's the sad.
That's understandable.
You just get sick of them. Ugh, you get aggravated with the quality, and just like, and especially Devastator. It just aggravates me so much. I think they're going to do another one. It's like, how many different alliterations of Masterpiece Devastator do we need?
Oh well, what is it? Toy World that's already done like just 9 on their own.
Yes,
yeah.
But yeah, I throw me in the Hercules group.
Yeah,
one. But I lost money on all 3 of them. I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah, I guess Hercules would probably be mine. There's a lot of stuff that I've sold that I've definitely taken a loss on. Especially if it's something where it's like I want the cash fast, and it's just like I don't care, whatever, let's do it. But yeah, I think either Hercules or MP05. And granted, I sold MP05 way before they announced MP36. So that was the Megatrons, by the way, for anyone who isn't up to date on their MP numbers. So I lost a pretty good amount on the MP05, but nothing compared to 600 for Hercules, and then only getting 2 out of it. And it was the second release too, with all the fixes. So, What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I guess another bad loss was the Fans Project Crossfire set for Bruticus.
Oh well, yeah.
Didn't get into them.
Well, the biggest problem was the swindle for the knee joint. It just ground to dust. So like his knee was just flopping all over the place.
Warbot Defender was another loss for me, because they announced that Generations Thrill and 30 Springer, and like that was it, man. There was no dumping that $120 figure for like anything more than $30 or $40.
Wish the same could be said for Assaulter. I'd love to get that figure.
Man, it seems like everyone's got problems losing money with third party.
It's weird, isn't it? It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
So now there's some that are still, high dollar, but
you remember the days when
With the what?
first third party, and then all of a sudden it would just jack up in price, and oh man, I should have grabbed that or whatever, and now it's like they're not going to be worth anything.
Yeah,
hold their value.
Well, I mean that was like the City Commander set, the Ultra Magnus armor set.
Yeah.
Dude, as soon as that 2015 Magnus got teased and released, like that was it. Nobody, you can't. On top of that, they were knocked off and stuff like that too. So that probably didn't help it much at all either. But that even killed the value on that Classics Ultra Magnus. So.
Well, then all the knockoffs of that too. The KOLD,
the cooled.
All right. Our next kind of question in this string of questions: are you selective enough with your purchases that you feel you will never have to sell? Dalton.
I think I'm starting to be, although Hasbro's making that difficult with, constantly rehashing everything every year, increasing, or just making things better, I guess. Like, oh, here's some more Datsun Brothers. Here they are again, but Earth modes.
That's fair.
It's like, just make new stuff and reboot it again in 5 years.
That's what they're doing.
They're doing it every year now.
They are. I think this is a peculiar time, Just granted, like with what the last theme was to this year's theme, so on and so forth. Mike, what about you, man?
Repeat the question. Let me hear one more time.
Are you selective enough with your purchases that you feel you will never have to sell?
I want to say I am. I kind of don't like having to rebuy stuff that is, like Dalton said, was just in the last series. Well, I have to buy it again because you changed it up again.
Well, why did you have to buy it in the first place?
Because I wanted to complete it.
So would you say you have a problem?
Oh, yeah, I know I got a problem. I still play Toys at 41.
We all got problems.
So, it's kind of like, perfect example what Dalton said, the Dotsons, was that you bought all three plus the Barricade, which was one of them as well. So that just kind of tells you that they're maybe about halfway tempted to do all four of them again in Earthrise, and I have no reason to buy again like that.
It's funny you mentioned that, us having a problem. I have learned in my short time in this hobby compared to others that patience, to quote the man I am claiming to be tonight, Pinkerton, patience saves pockets. There's a few standalone G1 episodes that I hold near and dear to my heart. One of those episodes is The Gambler with DevCon and Smokescreen. I wanted that Siege smokescreen. But I held off on it. I was like, no, certainly they'll do an actual Earth version, right? And lo and behold, they're doing an actual Earth version. So you gotta think 2 steps ahead. I saved myself $20 for whatever good that does in today's world. But Candace, well, I guess you definitely know you're not going to sell, right? It's like there's no chance. Like, let me present to you another hypothetical, if I may. Someone comes along and offers you.
Sorry, go ahead.
So someone offers you $5,000 for that Megatron statue, cash in hand.
Wow.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
No, I can't.
Now, this I think would be like. See, I could see honestly. I could see both of those statues being worth $5,000 at some point, at least in the next 5 to 10 years, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But what about 10 grand? What if it was just, they can't
Ooh.
find them and that they need it? That's that's
They
IRS
need-
getting involved kind of money.
jeez. I was gonna say I'd have to be like 70 years old, but then what would I do with 10 grand if I'm that old? What's the
True.
point?
And it has to be the primal statue, not the Megatron statue. The
Oh,
Optimus
it's
Primal
gonna-
statue. Yeah. 10 grand for that Optimus Primal statue.
If it were you, Dakota.
That's only because I got more dollars than I got cents.
Wow, that's tough. Isn't that sad? Everybody else would be like, give me the money, and I'm just sitting here. No,
tell
I
you-
don't think so.
I was gonna say I'll tell you the answer to the hypothetical. If someone were to come to me and say, "Hey, I'll give you 10 grand for that green Ramulus," I'd tell them to pound sand. I'm not interested.
Well, see, wow, all right, so we understand each other here.
Wouldn't even take a draw off my cigarette. I just let them know right there. So,
Nice.
now someone came along and said they'd give me 10 grand for that 2006 Megatron. Whoa! I got the rest of the set to sell you too. So 10,000 swamp dollars. Come on, boy. That's made with gold gator's teeth.
That's what we call bra money at Wolf and Jed.
Raw money. Ugh. Brett, are you selective enough with your purchases that you feel you will never have to sell?
Well, first of all, I want to know what Candace has against people that are 70 years old that they can't use 10,000.
For crying out loud.
Are you saying that all life ends at 70?
I feel like that's pretty safe to say.
Buddy, I'll be going hang gliding, 70 years old. I'll use $10,000. Heck yeah.
Hey, I'm just talking about my own future. It's nothing against anybody else and their futures of being elderly and not being able to get around, possibly.
You're gonna put
Aches and
yourself
pains
in a
every
hole?
day.
Is that what you're gonna do?
At 70, I want to be fortunate enough to still be able to wipe my own ass, let alone thinking about what to spend 10 grand on. I could use a lot more right here in the here and
That's
now.
crazy. 70 years old, I'll still be driving a car. I've already decided. I'm going to be the guy that
You're going to be the guy that knocked over the light pole the other day.
maybe. I'm going to be the guy that they're going to pull over, going, "Oh, that's just old man Brett. Leave him alone. He doesn't know what he's doing."
Old man Brett.
That's right. Just leave him alone. I'll be like, "Hey, Sonny, you remind me of my grandson." Heck yeah.
If I could remember his name.
Whatever his name was.
Kabar says, Dakota, you could wipe your ass 10,000 times with all that money. Brother Kyle says his grandma went skydiving on her 90th birthday. That's
Oh my God.
Nice.
incredible.
Like it.
She's
Very
looking,
cool.
she's looking life right in the eye.
Woo.
Goodness. All right, Brett.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. Well, I ain't gonna say it doesn't matter what it is. There's only a few things that I won't sell if the price was right. And I'm sorry, you might say you'd never sell that green Rambless. If someone flipped out 30, 40K, you're gonna sell it. If there's people out there with too much money, you'll sell it.
Hound sand.
I don't believe you.
Well, I guess you'd have to wait for someone to show me 30 or 40 grand.
Well, we'll both be waiting then, but I still don't believe
Yeah. I don't know, that's the thing. 30, 40 grand. I'd make that in a couple of years, There ain't nothing,
Yeah, but you could make that in 5 minutes.
maybe
That's
that's
true.
the thing.
That's actually-
Time
Pretty true.
time is but only a construct. I could make that money in 5 minutes, go get hit by a bus 10 minutes after that. What's the point?
Yeah, you're more likely to get hit by a
Now-
bus in your years it takes you to make it.
Had I not taken that 30, 40 grand, that bus would have missed me completely. I'd have already
Either
been on
that
my
or
way.
It wouldn't matter because if the bus did and you die, you're just going to grind that up and have it buried with you, right?
That's absolutely true.
There you
So
go.
I guess if someone with deep enough pockets is really invested in the toy history of Beast Wars, you're gonna have to come at me with something with a couple more zeros on the end of it than 30 or 40,000.
There you go. But there's still a price.
Yeah, but not one someone's gonna pay. The price would have to be enough for me to buy enough shares of Hasbro to have them to make it for me again. So that's where the out is.
Fair enough.
Let's see. So that said, I always tell people that the window of stuff I want to sell gets smaller and smaller each time. I mean, I have a definite end in mind, and I'm still backtracking stuff, which that doesn't really help too particularly well. But I mean, yeah, there's would I say that I'm selective enough with my purchases that I feel I will never have to sell? No. There's just stuff I get because whatever, it looks cool, or well, I could probably sit on this for a minute, and if I don't like it, whatever, a couple months later I'll be able to turn it over and get something I do want. So I don't think so. Last question: do you approach a new purchase with the intent to never sell? Dalton.
Usually I do. Usually something like that just pops up last minute. So yeah, I usually don't intend to sell something when I go to buy it.
Fair enough. Now, Mike, incriminate yourself.
What was the question again?
Yeah, he's muted.
Oh, you did.
Oh,
I just
boy.
left the room.
What'd you
Someone's
say?
doing
I'm back.
dishes.
I'm back. No,
Yeah,
I was
like-
on the phone. So,
All you had to do is say his name 3 times. He came back.
Yep, that was it. Do you approach a new purchase with the intent to never sell?
no.
Okay, that was easy.
Do I intend to sell it or not sell it?
Do you approach a purchase with the intent to never sell it? Like, meaning, do you buy it with zero intent to sell it? Like, you are not going to sell this thing that you're buying.
Oh no, I'm going to sell it.
There we
No,
go.
now I'll go and get stuff for myself, and then if it's something I know that carries some trade bait or scalper pricing, then I'll buy some extra.
Like 5 extra.
9 extra.
Oh my
Not
god.
extra. Shout out to all
What
them
do
complete reflectors out there. Candace, another hypothetical here. So I gotta work you into this topic. I gotta give you some scenarios. So you already have the 2 statues, right? Now
Yes.
you come across someone that's selling sealed, the Optimus Primal statue. They only want $200 for it. Would you pick that up to flip it? Or would you pick it up just to have a second one sealed?
No, not to have a second one sealed. Flipping it might be. Well, I don't know.
There's
have
more
another one
rooms
in
in the
another
house.
Flipping it might be tempting because that person totally screwed themselves with that price. Get a lot more
Right.
for it. But then, like I said before, there's the whole. I can't even get the goddamn thing in my car because it's so heavy. How am I going to ship it? How am I going to sell it?
Fair enough.
So that's that point. But otherwise, yeah, I would probably buy it just to flip it.
Dude, don't forget that $13 shipping.
Well, I mean, at that point, I feel like it's kind of necessary. That's also the handling surcharge.
Oh yes, the handling. Yes.
I still think that listing is hilarious.
Brett, what about you? Do you approach a new purchase with the intent to never sell it?
Yes and no. There are some purchases that I buy absolutely knowing that I'm not going to keep it, but that it's either such a good steal, or maybe it's something I know that I just want to buy mess around with, have it at, a table, fiddly bought, and then when you're done with it, sell it. And then there's others that I wanted to keep with the intent to keep. So
Like the Optimal Optimus prototype.
I can't really say that because Angie bought that, but that's true.
Yeah. You're going to have me and Candace on a bidding war for that one, I think.
You say that
that one's never going away.
Damn.
That one,
Damn it.
that one's not going.
So you would win that bidding war if you had the 30 or 40K for Great Ambulance.
Jeez.
I'll take that back. I'll take that back because I'm not going to eat my own words. If someone offered me crazy money, I would sell it.
What if it was okay money and an offer to take Angie out for steak and lobster?
So as long as you're not camping out in the yard, right?
Exactly.
Just don't poop in the yard. Might regret it. So to answer the question for me, it depends on what it is. There's a small portion of what I want melted down with me. There's also some stuff that I got it to enjoy it for a minute, and I think once the price is right, once the nostalgia hits for some of it, I'll be done with it. Notably, the Transformers Prime stuff. Now, if Mike is paying closer attention to those prices and those loose prices start to get out of hand, much as I love that series and it does hold a very special nostalgic spot in my heart, I got no problem getting rid of it. Again, now if I'm not backtracking anything at that point, I think that may be a different situation. But I definitely don't see myself hanging on to the Transformers Prime stuff forever. I don't even see myself hanging on to the, believe it or not, the Wrecker stuff forever. And that's probably my favorite aspect about the brand. To clarify the IDW stuff, the 3H stuff is here to stay forever. But I don't know. I wouldn't say I never approached anything with the intent to never sell because there's still stuff out there. And of course, like my interests may very well change, so you never know.
Deep stuff, man. Deep.
Yeah. Over some stupid ass toys.
Some plastic and some metal pins.
A little bit of cheap paint. What are you gonna do, right?
Some good old testers.
Anybody have anything they want to add to this before we get out of here?
Beast Wars.
Beast Wars.
Damn it, Dalton beat me again.
Dalton, where do people find you at?
Find me everywhere at Daltonian TFs and YouTube Daltonian95.
All right, Mike.
Find me everywhere as Angry Mike.
Candace.
You can find me Candace Santora or Candace Santora across social media or probably outside taking photos.
All right. Brett, where can people find you at, man?
Mega Must Make a Toy Fan Facebook.
And you can always find me everywhere at The Real Pinkerton. Before you get out of here, you should check out some shows on the Cool Table Network, such as Shadowcast Uncut, In the Realm, Detox, Figga Bangin, Pierce Vultures 40K, Breaking the Mold, Nerd Age Radio, Fresh Communications, Building Up to It, Verbally Challenged, Masterpiece, Shitpiece Theater, Nerds, Smoking, Total Package, Blackout Shout, All Queued Up, Off the Runner, and Cybercast. Thank you all for watching. We'll see y'all next week.
Beast Wars.
Bye.